Normally I wouldn't, well, I am trying to post more videos, but I just posted one a little while ago, but I'm still looking through other things that caught my interest. And I did not know about this. This was about a year ago that I guess a gentleman was shot for resisting red flag gun confiscation. This was posted November 26th of 2018. And I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand this because there was another video before this that was also posted of a gentleman over in Jersey that had his guns confiscated over bullshit. What has happened to due process? What happened to, seriously, these Democrats are literally looking for a civil war. They really are. And it's going to come down, and it's going to come down hard. You guys are breaking the law. But my whole thing with this is, why aren't they going after, and I think I talked about this yesterday, that if they want to enforce the law, why aren't they going after people we know who break the law? Gang members, drug dealers, MS-13. Y'all know for a fact that these guys are straight up criminals. Why aren't you going after them? Why is it that we constantly are hearing stories about legal citizens being harassed and their rights violated by the government? If this red flag law is supposed to serve such a purpose, then why aren't you going again after people you know who are straight criminals? Why are you not doing that?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee with Craig, where we talk about all things firearms, firearms related, politics, culture.
If you want to notice something really quick, is this guy's not white. Again, as I pointed out in my earlier video, we need more conservative minorities to come forward, people who are not blinded and brainwashed by the bullshit of the fucking Democrats and the left. We need more of us to come forward and start speaking against this stuff. We need more of us to truly end these bullshit lies and this kind of crap. The only thing that's going to happen that I see that's coming, that we see that's coming, is a civil war. That's what's going to happen. Y'all keep, and I know that's exactly why y'all are doing this bullshit. We know for a fact that's why y'all are using these bullshit red flag laws to go after law-abiding conservatives, law-abiding Second Amendment people, because we are the ones literally saying this shit's going to hit the fan. You guys are breaking the law by doing this. There's no due process. If there's no due process, you're breaking the law.
Media, you name it, we're talking about it right here on Coffee with Craig. So please take a moment, like and share this program so that your friends can join in the conversation. Whether you're watching us on YouTube or on Facebook, or you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, or Apple iTunes, make sure your friends know about us so that they can join in the conversation as it's happening. Now, also, please make it a point to go to fpcgear.com. That's fpcgear.com. It's a great place to go to buy Christmas gifts for the loved ones, for your friends, for your family that support the Second Amendment. Because here's the cool thing about it. Not only will you be able to buy very, very cool stuff like t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, but you can also know that every dollar that you spend is going right back into the fight for our right to keep and bear arms. So you can support the Second Amendment, and you can make sure that your loved ones look good while you're doing it. Anyway, that's fpcgear.com. Please visit it. I have to be honest. All right, and I know this is going to sound kind of egotistical, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I'm the type of person that believes in saying "I told you so," and not so much for the reason of, oh well, I want to seem like I am so smart, but more because there are times when people just blatantly do not listen to good advice.
All right, got to point out something really quick, because I've been that way my entire life. You know, I've posted on Facebook about it, but I haven't posted on my YouTube channel about it, not yet. People have always hated the kind of personality that I have, which is, I told you so. That's my personality. And again, I mean, oh, you just like doing that because of your ego. No, if you weren't fucking wrong all the time, I wouldn't have to always be fucking right all the time. I wouldn't have to tell you, I told you so, if you had fucking listened in the first place. I try my best. I don't like being wrong. But then again, why would anybody like to be wrong? Wouldn't you do everything you can to research, to study, to look things up, you know, to try and understand what the hell you're talking about? That's what an intelligent person does. They're going to do everything they can to try and know what it is that they're talking about, to try and know what the subject is so they can have an intelligent view of speaking about, you know, what the issue is. But now, I've noticed that most Democrats do not want to bother to actually research it. As a matter of fact, I said this in one of my earlier videos about one of my friends. I mean, I'm constantly, since we've met, I am constantly having to tell her, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. And I'm still, and it's not like she's stupid. She's intelligent. She's a very intelligent person. But it's almost like they want to live in the darkness. Like they don't want to like look out into the real world. They just want to stay hidden and closed and hiding from the real world, you know, and believing with rose-colored glasses the world that they believe it to be right instead of the real world. They want to live, as I've said before, they want to live in the Matrix. They don't want to see what the world of the real, you know, they want to live in the Matrix. They want to live in this fantasy and hide from it because they're that fucking weak. You can live. I love when my friends always try to tell me, Mark, you know, you always sound so negative all the time with the things you post and the videos you post. How are you ever happy? I'm happy because I live in the real world. I enjoy life more because I know the bullshit and the evilness of what's out there in the real world. I don't take things for granted because I live in the real world. Everything with all my medical issues and everything that I've got going on, when I'm able to be out and about, like yesterday, you know, experiencing life. I've been here for over 25 years, and for the first time, I've been there a couple of times, but not to actually like go there I've just been there, like more like at the entrance than anything, but Escalante Lake. I didn't realize that it's actually this, you know, for El Paso, that is, this big body of water. I'm from the East Coast. So, you know, you're not going to tell me what water is when I'm from the fucking coast. But for El Paso, it's like, holy shit, they actually have water. And there were a lot of people fishing, and I met a lot of great people. I mean, really a lot of good people out there. And I'm going to start going out there. I pulled out my fishing gear and everything and trying to get it all rigged up and stuff for me to go out there. After that, went downtown, got me some street tacos. They had an event that was going on that was not advertised. Fucking El Paso. You have events that are going on, but you don't promote them. Anyway, I enjoy life more because of everything that I'm going through, because I see how shit is really going on out there in the world. That's why I enjoy it. The people who don't really know me, the acquaintances more than actual friends, are the only ones who say that bullshit. They are. They're the only ones. Oh, Mark, you must not be happy because you always sound so negative. No, I post what's real. That's not me being negative. That's me pointing out an injustice. That's me saying something is wrong. That's not me being negative. That's me point. So if, let's just say, if a shooting happens, I'm the only witness. You don't want me to say anything? You don't want me to acknowledge it? If I see somebody abusing their child, you don't want me to acknowledge it? You want me to just turn a blind eye and walk away? No. And I'm going to not just acknowledge it, I'm going to speak on it. That's not me being negative. That's me pointing out shit really happens and we need to fucking talk about it. But we now live, I mean, I grew up in a world where nobody was on fucking Ritalin. You know, oh my God, it's just, seriously. I grew up in a world we had metal playgrounds and asphalt playgrounds and cement playgrounds. People got fucking hurt. You learned from it, right? You busted your ass and you fucking learned from it, right? Hopefully. You know, people living real life experiences. Then in the 90s, it started with this whole, we're going to make plastic out of everything and rubberize everything and bubble wrap everything. And now people are fucking weaker than ever before. But they're protected. You can't protect from the real life. You can't protect from the real world. Look at the hurricane that hit New Orleans. I forget what the name of that one was. Whatever, Andrew, or whatever the fuck it was. We've been having hurricanes as long as this planet has been in existence. We have had tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, volcano explosions. We have had all that shit going on since the beginning of this fucking earth, and y'all are acting like the shit just like was created yesterday. Stop being weak ass little bitches. Damn. Oh, what's our government gonna do? What's our government gonna do to control Mother Nature? Nothing. It's fucking, oh my God, so stupid. Live life. Shit happens. Mark, what if it happens to you? You do realize I grew up in Virginia. We got hit by hurricanes all the time. And we were at the beach, boogie boarding, surfing, swimming, all of that shit during the fucking hurricane. So don't tell me what I would do. I've lived it. Again, I come from a stronger generation. What would you do if violence broke out? I was in a gang. Gangs. I've been involved in shootings. I've been involved in people being stabbed and killed. All of that shit. I've lived it. Still not a bitch. Still not crying in a fucking corner. Still not taking some Xanax or any other fucking bullshit to fucking cope and everything because I'm not a weak ass bitch. Life happens. That's it. Shit fucking happens. It's how you deal. Well, some people can't fucking deal with it because you're weak ass little bitches. Own that shit. I have a problem. I don't mind people being weak, but I have a problem with people being weak and weak to a point that they start fucking with my shit, my rights. That's what I have a problem with, like these red flag fucking bullshit laws. That's when I have a problem with it. Well, people are safer. No, they're not. You're confiscating weapons from legal citizens who weren't going to do a goddamn thing. And this is not a gun issue, as Donald Trump fucking said it. And everybody, oh my, all the fucking Democrats and leftists and liberals, oh my God, I can't believe he's attacking mental health. But he's right. Y'all are so weak that you don't want to hear the truth. Y'all are so weak, you'd rather hide and be offended by somebody speaking the truth. This is not a gun law issue. This is a mental health issue. The shooter, from the other day, got fired from his job and he fucking snapped. That is a mental health issue, not a gun issue. Guns don't kill people. It's the fucking person behind the gun that kills people. Deal with the person. Well, if we get rid of guns, you're not gonna get, I've said this, oh my God, I have said this numerous times in videos. You are not going to get rid of guns. You're not. Oh my God, so you're going to try and confiscate guns from those of us who are legal citizens who went through the strenuous background checks. I got my fingerprinting tomorrow for my concealed carry. I got to go through that. The gun laws, the fucking background checks, all that is perfectly fine. The problem is mental health. The problem is with you fucking, I really don't understand it. I really don't. We just want to protect everybody. You want to protect everybody by hiding that somebody has a mental health issue that might fucking snap and shit. That might fucking go off the rails. Like the kid who came here to El Paso. His own mother reported him. Did y'all do anything about it? When she called the cops and everybody, did they do anything about it? No, they didn't. Because we don't want to mess with mental health issues. You do realize, so what? You take the gun. So what? Is that going to stop? Hello, let's bring up O.J. Simpson's case. Was that a gun crime? No, that was a knife crime. There are a lot of knife crimes. Look at London. They have all these strict fucking gun laws and knife crimes shot through the roof. So getting rid of guns, oh my God. Okay, well, let's try to get rid of knives. Again, comes down to mental health. Somebody who is mentally unstable isn't going to give a fuck if they have a gun, a knife. Confiscate all the fucking weapons you want. A lot of crimes are based on weapons of opportunity. We're going to ban baseball bats now? We're going to ban kitchen knives now? I could kill you with a butter knife. I'm trained to. But again, we're talking mental health. Someone who has a mental health issue is going to do whatever they can to beat you. Tire iron. I can look around my room, my house right now, the living room right now, and see a lot of things that can be used as a weapon. I could kill you with this. I could easily slice your throat with this, the remote to my Amazon thing. Want to know how? Basically slide off the back of it, and oh my God, there's an edge to the damn thing. And yes, I could fucking slice your throat with this. Jesus Christ. Still, seriously stupid. There is all kinds of things just in this room alone I could kill you with. There's a display that I made for my friend that has plants. It's just plant stuff, dried plant stuff, but I could stab you with it. Literally, it doesn't even need to be that long. Hold it tight, stab you right in the fucking jugular. Weapons of opportunity. Y'all, you stupid ass liberals and Democrats just don't get it. You don't need to ban guns and knives and all this other crap. As I said, so you're going to ban what? Kitchen knives now? You're going to ban my tools, my hammer, screwdrivers. You're going to ban tire irons, crowbars. I got a set of antlers right there. That's a weapon. You're going to ban that? You're going to come and confiscate that? My God, y'all are just fucking retarded. Somebody who is evil is going to do whatever they can to kill you. Weapons of are you going to ban cars from all the people, all the crimes that have happened with people running people over and with their trucks and cars and shit? We're going to ban cars now? This is how stupid this is. But again, as I have in the description, if you're going to use this kind of red flag law bullshit, then why aren't you going after people we all know who are criminals? MS-13, Crips and the Bloods, all the fucking I live in El Paso, all the fucking cartels. You're gonna go after them? Use these red flag laws? Funny how we haven't heard those stories, right? Funny how we have not heard any stories that I've seen about we raided this, house of MS-13. We raided this neighborhood of MS-13. We raided this neighborhood or this building that is frequented or owned by the Hells Angels or the Bandito. Seriously, if you're not going to do where you're going to go after people who might be known as criminals, and you're going after people who are actually law-abiding citizens, there's some corruption seriously going on. Y'all have obvious evidence against a lot of these criminal organizations, these criminal groups. But yet, since I haven't heard anything about y'all going after them, not a word. But I'm hearing a lot of stories about the fucking police going after law-abiding citizens. What the fuck is with that?
For, in my opinion, I believe saying I told you so is simply so that hopefully the next time they'll actually take a moment to listen and consider.
No, they won't. I tell a lot of my friends and former friends, I've told you so numerous times. Do they ever listen? No, they fucking don't. They have never listened. All they do is whine and bitch and cry. Mark, why do you have to always be right? Well, if you weren't fucking wrong all the time, I wouldn't have to always be right. Also, if you had listened to me when I fucking warned you about something or when I told you about something, I wouldn't have to throw it in your face that I was right. Use your fucking brain. Think for yourself. Use your brain. And I wouldn't have to tell you, hey, I was right. Fucking told you so.
Consider the counsel that is being provided. So
but that's it. That's it right there. That's another thing that I cannot stand about Democrats, liberals, fucking weak ass soy boys, and all this. And y'all just really don't want to be told that you're wrong about something. You don't. You don't want to take any actual good advice because you don't want to ever be wrong about something. But it's funny how when people tell me that, Mark, no, you just don't like being wrong about shit. I'm curious because we are talking about this, right? This particular argument we just had. Yeah. Was I wrong? Well, no. Answer the question. Yes or no. Was I wrong? Well, no, but well, then if I don't like ever being wrong, but in the case that you're arguing with me right now, I wasn't wrong, then again, why don't you ever, if you can't beat me in a discussion, in a debate, in an argument, if you can't beat me on your own merit, your own intelligence or whatever, I'm sorry, I'm going to get all the enjoyment I need and want out of always being right.
I do it. So I am here today to say, I told you so, or as FBC, we told you so. Since 2014, we have been advocating against red flag laws, or as they're known here in California, gun violence restraining orders. In other states, they're known as extreme risk protection orders. For those of you who do not know what these are, you must have been under a rock somewhere. I don't know how long you've been watching this program, but I don't know how you don't know what they are. But to give you the down and dirty of them, an individual can go to a judge, say that you are a danger to yourself or others. You in an ex parte hearing, meaning you don't get to be there. You don't even know about this hearing. The judge then issues a gun violence restraining order. Law enforcement then serves that order and then seeks to restrain you from your weapons or take your firearms away. In some cases, you actually do get to go to court and get your, potentially get your gun rights back. But, tell folks, well, I'm not a danger to myself or others. You're guilty till proven innocent, but now you got to prove that you're not a danger to yourself or others. And, these laws are passed off as, well, they're only going to be used against people who are mentally ill, even though mental health professionals have absolutely nothing to do with anything in this process. There's never a mental health professional anywhere involved in this process. They're not used as a part of the determination. You don't provide counseling. You're not provided any counseling or anything like that. If you are deemed to be a danger to yourself or others, absolutely nothing. There is no mental health professional at all in this.
Now, I'm going to touch on something really quick. A couple of years ago, I was detained for a night and then sent to a mental health facility without any proof, any evidence whatsoever. As a matter of fact, all the evidence showed that I was clear of everything that I was accused of. And the judge brought up some bogus fucking law. And as a matter of fact, I will be trying to talk to a lawyer about this. And I am going to be attempting to sue the city of El Paso because of it. Apparently, there's some bogus fucking law that they can detain you in a mental health facility for at least a month. I was there for 2 months, mind you. And there was no evidence whatsoever. Yet a fucking drug dealer can be detained and be out within 24 hours based on no fucking evidence. But as I said, the law that they brought up was, it was off the observation of this police officer. And the issue becomes, is this police officer a mental health expert? Is this did he have any actual, but we're going off of his word. That officer is still a human being. Doesn't matter what he has a fucking badge. He's not an expert in mental health. He's not an expert in anything. Well, but he observed this. What he observed were a bunch of empty bottles that, when they did blood tests and all that other shit, showed that I was negative for everything. So if the evidence spoke for itself, how the fuck can you detain me illegally? But again, they brought up some weird bullshit fucking law. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm telling you, there's some shit that needs to be fixed straight up and within our governments. And that is definitely one of them. But then I ended up finding out later on from a person who used to work at that facility that one of the reasons why he quit is because he found out that they were detaining people illegally. Well, when I ended up going to the VA, literally that day after I got out of there, the mental health professional at the VA said they had no right to detain you at all. As a matter of fact, and I even told her, I said, when they were trying to detain me, said, well, take me to Beaumont. I have that right. And they violated that right on top of it. And she said, no, they should have brought you to Beaumont. That's what you requested. It wasn't an emergency. So they should have taken you where you told them to take you, which was Beaumont. And she said, and they would have released you immediately. So yeah, I will be looking into suing, for this. But then there were also people who voluntarily turned themselves in as a danger to themselves, literally turning themselves in, saying that they were going to harm themselves, and got out. And I found out that they literally could just check themselves out. They could turn themselves in, admitting that they were a harm to themselves, and then turn around and check themselves right out. Yet I was detained with no evidence, no admission, no nothing, and was detained for 2 months. Yeah, there's some serious corruption going on.
Entire thing. By the way, we're the only people who are actually qualified to do this. But it's something that is portrayed by many as, well, this is just such a nice, reasonable thing, and it's okay because, well, nothing bad could happen because it's so cool. We fill out that affidavit, we petition the court, we get a temporary order, we go serve that temporary order. Part of that service is, hey, you have a court date in 14 days, right? So that the respondent gets their opportunity to go to court in front of a judge. And
not always true. That's an actual lie, because I watched another video before this one where the gentleman even just said a little bit earlier ago that you don't even have to be there. So yeah, you don't get a court order and you get to go defend yourself and all this other bullshit. They're outright fucking lying, straight out.
Give their side of it.
You're describing a very rational, reasonable process.
And Vice is nothing but liberal, fake ass bullshit news. It is. But you're describing a very rational. No, because that's not what happens. Oh, they have the opportunity to go defend themselves. Defend themselves after the fact? What happened to innocent until proven guilty? Sounds like they literally already come in, confiscate your weapons, basically unofficially saying you're guilty, and then you have to prove your innocence after? Isn't that illegal? What the hell is this shit?
Thus, on a subject that really does not have a lot of rational, reasonable discourse these days.
I think the process that's in place right now, at least the one that we have here in Washington, so far it's worked out pretty well.
Okay, so let's just be clear. So what they're saying is it's a nice, calm, reasonable process. Well, there's only one problem here.
There's a lot of problems.
I mean, aside from there's more than one problem. Aside from the obvious constitutional issues, the fact that an individual has lost a fundamental right without due process. When I say without due process, if you lose the right without due process, or before you do due process, then that's not due process. Before you get
due process is innocent until proven guilty. That's due process. You cannot lose your right before due process.
Judean court. If you get into court and now you're guilty until proven innocent, that's not due process. I'm sorry, but it's not. Both your property has been seized. And by the way, I did tell you that they're going to search you. They're going to search your home. They're going to search any place where they believe you have a firearm. They're now going to legally be able to do that. Anyway, so with that, so they make it a point to say, well, hey, this is going to be calm. Well, one of the interesting things in this whole thing was, having a chance to talk with law enforcement. It's not as calm as what this guy says. In essence, what winds up happening is when they send people to confiscate the firearms, these are usually in most cases, it's individuals who are armed, who have there's usually more than one of them. There's multiples of them, because once again, they've been told that this person is a danger to themselves or others, and they're armed. And we've been saying this is a concern for years. Law enforcement then is given a gun seizure warrant. So they've been given the information that an individual is armed and may harm themselves and is a danger to themselves or others. It creates an opportunity for very bad things and a very bad confrontation to happen. We believe that this is a dangerous idea, right? And we weren't the only ones. In fact, the ACLU even joined us in expressing their concern over this particular issue.
What this would allow is that a coworker of any of us could, by themselves, come into court and obtain an order from the court without notice to the restrained party, so they would have no opportunity to be heard at the hearing. And they could obtain an order that says that it is likely that the person is armed and dangerous. That order would then be given to law enforcement. Law enforcement would serve the order on the person, and we can imagine the fashion in which, it might not be a casual encounter if that's the information law enforcement has been given.
Exactly. So, in other words, even the ACLU understands that when you give law enforcement information, you need to consider the context that, once again, this person is a danger to themselves or others, so much so that they ought not be able to own or possess a firearm. And oh, by the way, we want you to go take their guns. That is a recipe for disaster. At least, and by the way, when I say I told you so, I'm talking about an incident that occurred in Maryland where that exact same scenario played out to disastrous results.
An Anne Arundel County man is dead after officers say he refused to give up his gun to police.
Officers shot and killed him at his home this morning, where they were attempting to enforce the new red flag law.
WGC is live near the scene in Ferndale. Kimberly Eaton is updating this developing situation. Kimberly.
And Vic, police just left this Ferndale neighborhood now nearly 12 hours after officers first showed up here to attempt to remove guns from a home and ended up shooting and killing the gun owner. Flashing red and blue lights cut through the rain in this Ferndale neighborhood Monday afternoon. Police now guarding the street where their attempt to enforce the new red flag law turned fatal hours earlier. Around 5:15 in the morning, Anne Arundel County police say they came to a home on Linwood Avenue near Broadview Boulevard to take weapons from 60-year-old Gary Willis. They say 2 officers knocked on the door and Willis answered, armed with a handgun. Sergeant Jacqueline Davis says at first he put the gun down and stepped outside to talk with police.
He was fine with the officers until they told him, hey, we're serving you with this order, and this order orders us from the court to take your guns.
At that point, she says Willis went for his gun. One of the officers tried to grab it out of his hand, and Willis pulled the trigger. That bullet didn't hit anyone, but it prompted the other officer to open fire, shooting and killing the gun owner. It's a deadly beginning to a law that's barely a month old and that Anne Arundel County Police have only had to enforce 9 times so far.
Only 9 times. Again, have you heard any of these stories of them going after MS-13, cartels, anybody that we know are actual criminals? No, they're going after law-abiding citizens.
First, remove guns from owners who reportedly may be a danger to themselves or others.
These are particularly dangerous because not only do we know there's weapons involved, we're also taking the weapons.
In this case, it led to gunfire before dawn on this otherwise quiet street.
All right. So one of the things that I noticed in that particular piece is where they talk about the individual may be a danger to themselves or others. May be a danger to themselves or others. Maybe. In other words, once again, nothing has been established. This individual has broken absolutely no laws. And it was amazing to me the cavalierness of the law enforcement officer in that the piece that was before for the guy from Washington, Seattle. He was just like, well, yeah, no, we tell them, hey, well, we're here to take your guns. And oh, by the way, you'll have your day. You have a day in court in 14 days. But in the end, the individual, and by the way, as far as we know right now, all this guy was guilty of, all he was guilty of was not being willing to give up his constitutional right. That's it. All this individual is guilty of is not being willing to give up his right. And as a result, was shot dead by law enforcement. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't blame the cops. I don't blame them. They are doing their job. They were given the order to go and remove the firearm.
Illegal order.
That's what they were told to do. That's their job. And in the midst of their jobs, they have to protect themselves. So I don't blame the cops in this case. The people who I do blame are the politicians who put them in this situation, who put them in a position where their lives were potentially in jeopardy, and at the same time put this man's life in jeopardy for doing nothing more than believing that he had a right to keep and bear arms. Now I know that sounds good. I know the people out there are like, well, but he went for his gun and he tried to kill officers. Well, I'm just gonna put this back on you now. I want you to think about this for a minute. Now, I read the comments in our threads. I do. On Facebook, on YouTube. I read the comments. And I have more than once read where people have said, well, they're not going to take my guns. Now, mind you, this guy did nothing more than act on that very same sentiment. And he is now dead. We said that this was a potential, that this could potentially happen. And now it has. In less than a month, the law has been in place in the state of, in this case, Maryland. It's not even a month old, and someone is already dead. In the state of Maryland, they've issued these. They've basically issued hundreds of these, hundreds. In this particular county, it was only 9, but they've done over 100. In Florida, they did over 450 in 4 months. Think about it, over 100 of them in a month. And by the way, in the state of California, they're pleading for them to do more of them. What do you think is going to happen? If you have an individual who fundamentally believes in the right to keep and bear arms and is not willing to allow law enforcement to unconstitutionally disarm him, you could have, once again, no one who's they weren't a danger to themselves or others until you started to try and take away their right. then all of a sudden they became a danger to themselves or others. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And by the way, if they actually are a danger to themselves or others, do you really think sending an armed task force to confiscate the firearms is going to de-escalate?
You know, the funny thing is the movie Minority Report comes to mind, where basically we're going to do everything we can to prevent crime before it happens. So we're going to arrest people because we feel they might do something. That's where we're going to now. We're literally just going to start arresting people and detaining people over what they might do. Not that they have committed any kind of crime, but thought crime. We're going to arrest them because of thought crime.
Played anything? Obviously not. Didn't in this case. And guess what? There will be other cases where it will not be the case. And in this particular case, it was the gun owner who was killed by law enforcement. Sadly, in the future, it would not be unheard of to have law enforcement killed by a potential gun owner. I don't want to see that happen. Nobody wants to see that happen.
But the thing is, there's no way that this is an actual law. It can't be. So these officers do have a choice, like the sheriff down here, the sheriff refusing to enforce Washington State's red flag laws. So, because it's unconstitutional, it is illegal. So the cops do have a choice to say, we're not going to enforce that. That's illegal.
The position that these policymakers have put them in. They have put law enforcement in this position. They have put gun owners in this position. All because, well, they want to feel safe.
But again, you're not going after criminal organizations, MS-13, and I hate, because I grew up with these guys, so I hate to be kind of pointing stuff out, but Hell's Angels, Bandita. You're not going after people who are actually maybe known for committing crimes and criminal activities and violence and everything. No, you're going after law-abiding citizens who have done nothing, absolutely nothing.
I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so.